Section 1 from the book of Genesis. After these things Abraham was told, Behold, Milcah, she also has borne children to your brother Nahor. Uz his firstborn, Buz his brother, Kemuel the father of Aram, Chesed, Hazo, Pildash, Jidlaph, and Bethuel. Bethuel became the father of Rebekah. These 8 Milcah bore to Nahor, Abraham's brother. His concubine, whose name was Reumah, also bore Tebah, Gaham, Tahash, and Maacah. Sarah lived 127 years. This was the length of Sarah's life. Sarah died in Kiriath Arba, also called Hebron, in the land of Canaan. Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. Abraham rose up from before his dead and spoke to the children of Heth, saying, I am a stranger and a foreigner living with you. Give me a possession of a burying place with you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. The children of Heth answered Abraham, saying to him, Hear us, my lord, you are a prince of God among us. Bury your dead in the best of our tombs. None of us will withhold from you his tomb. Bury your dead. Abraham rose up and bowed himself to the people of the land, to the children of Heth. He talked with them, saying, If you are willing that I should bury my dead here, hear me and entreat Ephron the son of Zohar for me, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which he has at the end of his field. Let him give it to me among you for the full price as property for a burial place. Now Ephron was sitting in the middle of the children of Heth. Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham in the hearing of the children of Heth, even of all who went in at the gate of his city, saying, No, my lord, hear me. I give you the field, and I give you the cave that is in it. In the presence of the children of my people, I give it to you. Bury your dead. Section 2 from the book of Judges. It was so, for he rose up early on the next day, and pressed the fleece together, and wrung the dew out of the fleece, a bowlful of water. Gideon said to God, Don't let your anger be kindled against me, and I will speak but this once. Please let me make a trial just this once with the fleece. Let it now be dry only on the fleece, and on all the ground let there be dew. God did so that night, for it was dry on the fleece only, and there was dew on all the ground. Then Jerubbaal, who is Gideon, and all the people who were with him rose up early and encamped beside the spring of Harod. And the camp of Midian was on the north side of them, by the hill of Moreh, in the valley. For everyone said to Gideon, The people who are with you are too many for me to give the Midianites into their hand, lest Israel vaunt themselves against me, saying, My own hand has saved me. Now therefore proclaim in the ears of the people, saying, Whoever is fearful and trembling, let him return and depart from Mount Gilead. 22,000 of the people returned, and 10,000 remained. For everyone said to Gideon, The people are still too many. Bring them down to the water, and I will test them for you there. It shall be that of whom I tell you, this shall go with you, they shall go with you, and whoever I tell you, this shall not go with you, they shall not go. So he brought down the people to the water, and for everyone said to Gideon, Everyone who laps of the water with his tongue, like a dog laps, you shall set him by himself. Likewise, everyone who bows down on his knees to drink. The number of those who lapped, putting their hand to their mouth, was 300 men, but all the rest of the people bowed down on their knees to drink water. For everyone said to Gideon, By the 300 men who lapped will I save you, and deliver the Midianites into your hand. Let all the other people go, each to his own place. So the people took food in their hand and their trumpets, and he sent all the men of Israel, every man to his tent, but retained the 300 men, and the camp of Midian was beneath him in the valley. That same night, for everyone said to him, Arise, go down into the camp, for I have delivered it into your hand. But if you are afraid to go down, go with Purah, your servant, down to the camp, and you shall hear what they say. and afterward your hands will be strengthened to go down into the camp." Then he went down with Purah his servant to the outermost part of the armed men who were in the camp. The Midianites and the Amalekites and all the children of the east lay along in the valley like locusts for multitude, and their camels were without number, as the sand which is on the sea shore for multitude. When Gideon had come, behold, there was a man telling a dream to his fellow, and he said, "Behold, I dreamed a dream, and behold, a cake of barley bread tumbled into the camp of Midian, and came to the tent, and struck it so that it fell, and it turned it upside down, so that the tent lay flat." His fellow answered, "This is nothing other than the sword of Gideon, the son of Joash, a man of Israel. God has delivered Midian into his hand with all the army." It was so, when Gideon heard the telling of the dream and its interpretation, that he worshipped. And he returned into the camp of Israel and said, "Arise, for forever one has delivered the army of Midian into your hand." He divided the 300 men into 3 companies, and he put into the hands of all of them trumpets and empty pitchers with torches within the pitchers. He said to them, "Watch me, and do likewise. Behold, when I come to the outermost part of the camp, it shall be that as I do, so you shall do. When I blow the trumpet, I and all who are with me, then blow the trumpets also on every side of all the camp, and shout, 'For forever one, and for Gideon!'" Section 3, from the first book of Chronicles. "Now therefore you shall tell my servant David, thus says forever one of armies, I took you from the sheep pen, from following the sheep, that you should be prince over my people Israel. I have been with you wherever you have gone, and have cut off all your enemies from before you. I will make you a name, like the name of the great ones who are in the earth. I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and will plant them, that they may dwell in their own place, and be moved no more. Neither shall the children of wickedness waste them any more, as at the first, and from the day that I commanded judges to be over my people Israel. And I will subdue all your enemies. Moreover, I tell you that forever one will build you a house. It shall happen, when your days are fulfilled that you must go to be with your fathers, that I will set up your offspring after you, who shall be of your sons, and I will establish his kingdom. He shall build me a house, and I will establish his throne forever. I will be his father, and he shall be my son. I will not take my loving kindness away from him, as I took it from him that was before you, but I will settle him in my house and in my kingdom forever. His throne shall be established forever." According to all these words, and according to all this vision, so Nathan spoke to David. Then David the king went in and sat before forever one, and he said, "Who am I, forever one God? And what is my house, that you have brought me thus far? This was a small thing in your eyes, God, but you have spoken of your servant's house for a great while to come, and have respected me according to the estate of a man of high degree, forever one God. What can David say yet more to you concerning the honor which is done to your servant? For you know your servant. Forever one, for your servant's sake, and according to your own heart, you have worked all this greatness to make known all these great things. Forever one, there is none like you, neither is there any God besides you, according to all that we have heard with our ears. What one nation in the earth is like your people Israel, whom God went to redeem to himself for a people, to make you a name by great and awesome things, in driving out nations from before your people, whom you redeem out of Egypt? For your people Israel you made your own people forever, and you, forever one, became their God. Now, forever one, let the word that you have spoken concerning your servant and concerning his house be established forever, and do as you have spoken." Section 4, from the book of Matthew. Now in the morning, as he returned to the city, he was hungry. Seeing a fig tree by the road, He came to it and found nothing on it but leaves. He said to it, "Let there be no fruit from you forever." Immediately the fig tree withered away. When the disciples saw it, they marveled, saying, "How did the fig tree immediately wither away?" Jesus answered them, "Most certainly, I tell you, if you have faith and don't doubt, you will not only do what was done to the fig tree, but even if you told this mountain, be taken up and cast into the sea, it would be done. All things, whatever you ask in prayer, believing, you will receive." When he had come into the temple, the chief priests and the elders of the people came to him as he was teaching and said, "By what authority do you do these things? Who gave you this authority?" Jesus answered them, "I also will ask you one question, which if you tell me, I likewise will tell you by what authority I do these things. The baptism of John, where was it from? From heaven or from men?" They reasoned with themselves, saying, "If we say from heaven, he will ask us, 'Why then did you not believe him?' But if we say from men, we fear the multitude, for all hold John as a prophet." They answered Jesus and said, "We don't know." He also said to them, "Neither will I tell you by what authority I do these things. But what do you think? A man had 2 sons, and he came to the first and said, 'Son, go work today in my vineyard.' He answered, 'I will not.' But afterwards he changed his mind and went. He came to the second and said the same thing. He answered, 'I'll go, sir.' But he didn't go. Which of the 2 did the will of his father?" They said to him, "The first." Jesus said to them, "Most certainly I tell you that the tax collectors and the prostitutes are entering into God's kingdom before you. For John came to you in the way of righteousness, and you didn't believe him. But the tax collectors and the prostitutes believed him. When you saw it, you didn't even repent afterward, that you might believe him."